Hello. This video would be focused on Rumi's interpretation from uh, the actions, feeling, and thoughts that are based on love versus based on fear. I will be interpreting two of the verses. I will give some live application from my own life and also would ask you to think about how it can be applied to your life. And I would ask you to leave comments and have a more interactive community. So the first verses that I would like to read says آتش است این بانگ نای و نیست باد هر که این آتش ندارد نیست باد. So it says that this voice that is coming from me, and here he talks about nai, which could be an implication for the flute reed. He says that what you hear from me, from my body, is the warmth of the love. And then the second part says that if you don't have this love, the warmth of love in you, it's better to be gone. There are two interpretations for that. One of them says that if you don't have this love in you, you better not be there. Whereas the other, like more realistic interpretation is that you wish the part of you that is not associated with the love, with your attachment to the spirituality and your essence, to be disappearing. So what you really wish is that the death of your ego, which would be start of your freedom, where you can be in touch with the love, and whatever you see, you say, and you feel, and you act would be love-based rather than fear-based. So have you seen yourself, for example, in a topic that you're really interested in and you want to talk about it, and you kind of so much in touch with the warmth and the love and the passion that this topic is giving you, that when you are talking about it, you actually say it in a good way, your friends would really engage with it. And have you asked yourself why is that, versus when you're saying something that you're not very interested about and other people also don't feel very connected to that topic? So what is the difference, do you think? Could be the difference could be that the first one comes, like people, it come across to people when you are engaging with them, when the things that you are talking about or your thoughts and feelings that you are trying to send to the friends are associated with love, where you don't really are not scared, or you're not coming from the fear-based, where you are worried about how your friends are going to judge you when you speak. So here Rumi says that whatever you hear that comes from my body, it's all based on, this is the noise of the love that is inside me. And if you have anything else except the love, I wish that your ego would disappear and you feel a lot more free, and therefore you can be in touch with your essence and with the love that you have inside you. So what we can do ourselves in order to make this point a little bit more applicable to our life is to kind of really be able to practice meditation and being in the moment whenever we do anything. And I recommend that first thing in the morning you do a meditation where you are really in touch with your body, with your feeling. You are in the moment, you're not really thinking, you don't give all the thoughts in your head a lot of power. So then you would be really able to be connected to your source, to your body, to the environment, and you're not being taken away by your head. That would really help. And then you can take it away and when you do day-to-day activity, try to focus on your purpose, on a higher purpose. Try to focus on your body and on the environment. Do not let your mind to go from one branch into another one. And if you notice that, just take a note of where your mind is going. Just don't follow it so far away. So in that sense, it would help you to stay with the love inside you, which is we all have, the love that we have for each other, for the universe, and for spirituality. Just stay in touch with that rather than letting it go. So this was the interpretation from the first verses, which was verses number 9. If you have other interpretation, or if you think about these verses differently, please leave what you think in the link below or in the comment section, and I do my best to reply. And I would be very interested to know how else people can interpret that. So I would really appreciate that. So the verses 10 says, آتش عشق است کاندر نی فتاد، جوشش عشق است کاندر می فتاد, which is similar to the first part, which means that this is آتش is like a fire, عشق means love, so there is a fire of love that you can see inside this body, which when he talks about Nay, in the first video I presented to you, Nay is representing our body, us being separated from the reed, which was our origin. But now we are separated from that. There is the warmth of love inside us for being connected to the reed, or connected to where we came from, connected to our essence, and connected to the spirituality. So he says, what you can feel in me is the fire and the warmth of love that is inside me. Inside me, that as a reed is separated from my origin. That's what happened to the reed flute, right? The item being taken away from this form, being here, you blow in it, blow love, and it makes noise. The second part says, جوشش عشق است کاندر می فتاد. And you can feel this boiling of love that is inside the wine. Right? So, why does he say about the boiling of love inside wine? So let's talk about the effect of wine and the temporary effect of wine or alcohol that can have on many people. Have you noticed when you maybe drinking alcohol, when you are being affected by the alcohol, you feel a lot more free and you can be yourself? What is that? Have you thought about it? Have you thought about being in a social situation where you feel a bit uncomfortable, you feel worried about what people think, but you drink a little bit of alcohol and suddenly you start having fun? Imagine what it's like, and why do you think you have more fun under that influence? Write in the comment below and just say, this is how you feel when you, for example, drink in a social situation, and this is how you act. Well, of course, alcohol impact will wear off, and in a long term, like the next day, you may have a headache or a problem. But here, Rumi is not suggesting for us to drink alcohol to have fun. He is suggesting to get connected to our essence without alcohol, but he's using that to give us an example of feeling free. So what, for example, wine can do is that it can quiet your mind, which is fear-based. So, for example, in a social situation, you can have a lot of conversation on your head about what people think about you, how you should interact with others, etc., which really take you away and doesn't let you have fun and connect with others. All these egoic thoughts, and wine can temporarily stop that sort of thoughts. You feel free of your ego and you can have fun. So again, when I read this verse, it says that جوشش عشق است کاندر می فتاد. He says that if you want, my interpretation is that if you want to feel really free from your ego, see the effect that wine can have on you would be your freedom from your fear and ego. And that is what you can do and what you can use to apply in order to always feel love inside you and not fear. So although the alcohol has a short positive term effect and a long negative term effect that's not really applicable here, is not really talking about real wine, is talking about a love that being connected to your essence would create you, but by eliminating, criticizing noise in your head, by eliminating all these things that you're gonna say, that people are gonna be negative, they are gonna think this and that about you, and also their thought is important. So if you want to drink a wine that has a permanent effect with you with no side effect, kill your ego. Stop the fear-based conversation in your head. Stop worrying and being in your head all the time and thinking that, oh my God, what's gonna happen? All these bad things that can happen. I remember when I was going out with few friends, we weren't drinking alcohol, but what we could do to kind of free us from disconcerted thinking was that telling our friend, snap out of your head. We knew that they are a bit anxious in a social situation because they're really thinking about what others think of them and what they think of others. They're judging others, the others are judging us. I'm bad, they are bad, whatever, like you will be socially quite stressed. What do we say? Just snap out of your head and be yourself. Try to have fun with us, have fun with others, and make that conversation fun. So we were recommending this thing to eliminate our ego, eliminate all this self-criticizing and fear-based conversation in our head and replace it with emptiness, quietness in your head. So tell me about an example that happened in your life where you were with a group of friends that you really felt comfortable with, that you really liked, and you knew that they really like you. See how much you really enjoyed that conversation, because you didn't feel any judgment from your side towards them. You didn't feel that they are judging you. So there were not much fear of that, but there was this kind of love where you and your group of friends or your single friend liked you for who you are, and vice versa. And that really created a warm feeling. You could get a small glimpse of that love, that boiling love, where the ego is not present, when the fear is not there, when you are not following the thoughts in your head to see, oh my God, what is this sort of judgment going to lead me to? And that example, I want you to really imagine how it is like really to be with somebody who you like or love or respect, and they respect you. And at that time, you are free of the judgment. You're not going to think about what your friend is saying is bad toward you and vice versa. This ego and this fear is gone. And you can practice that. You can have that magnificent impact in you when you practice meditation and mindfulness, even when you are with your friends or even in a social situation where you are not really connected with many people. So the solution is that. The solution is to be mindful and not following the fear-based egoic conversation in our head all the time. Leave me a comment below, please, and tell me what is your interpretation of these verses, whether you agree with this interpretation or not. And let me know, and everybody else, an example of when you felt you are more connected with the love and less connected with the fear, and how it felt for you. Thanks so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it if you hit the like button. Please leave the comment below to see what you feel and about this, and I will try to get back to you. And I really appreciate it, and I'd like you to please, after this, practice more mindfulness, even in the presence of others, even in a situation where you find yourself very stressed. Thanks very much, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.